Alright, so first off, before we begin, make sure you're supporting me. I'll put it somewhere in this video, and also like, share, add, all that good stuff too. So I'm going to introduce something new to you. It's called hyperprotective syndrome. This is a sibling or even a close cousin to hyperindependence. And hyperindependence, we already know, is you've had some situation either recently or all the way up to your early childhood. You had some kind of trauma towards finances or something of that nature, and ultimately it made you a hyper worker and always need to be busy, and it's kind of like a trauma response. Simple. Now, in this hyper protection syndrome, what it is you mentally, emotionally, or physically have been, let's just say, scarred. So what you do is you bulk up your offensive or defensive abilities to, let's just say, overcome that particular issue. I'll give you an example. Let's say, for instance, you were being bullied because you couldn't read or write. Cool. So you come up with some smart way to become so strong you can defeat this individual or individuals that caused you this type of suffering. Or it can be emotionally, you know how to manipulate people, or even physically, you're very strong. Or you might just get a weapon. Or whatever the case may be, you get yourself so well prepared, you defeat this enemy. Or at least that's what you perceive him to be. So anyway, long story short, you do this, you get good at it, and you always get stronger and stronger in that type of field that you're at. And what you do is you never address the actual issue. You can't read or write. But instead of addressing that, you get really strong, really big diesel dude. So in other words, the person that used to get bullied becomes the bully. So again, to just recap, an individual becomes highly, let's just say, they become very strong in their field. Like I said, you could all of a sudden become very shrewd, very sly, very slick, even intelligent, whatever the case may be, right? Or you could be a great manipulator. You know how to use words and twist them to get your way. Or you could be physically strong. Really big diesel guys, because they feel weakened in something completely different. But you build up your offense and defense and things that have truly nothing to do with what your problem is. This is one of the reasons why we always mention people need to seek professional help, because what you've learned is a twisted way to cope with reality. Many society norms is like, if this happens, this is what you do, but you're never actually addressing anything. And this is why mental health has become such a major subject that people focus on. Is because no one actually addresses the core reasons of whatever said situation is. So anyway, like I said, this is called hyperprotection syndrome, and we all know it, but we always hear bits and pieces. But this is just the whole thing as like a whole, basically two wholes.